Right, apologies, really crazy day and so late, so sorry for that. Right, let's get going. Fed on Wednesday. So this market is not holding up at the moment. So we've had this three-wave move down, and this pullback got sold into at 34,000, closed under 33. So it looks as if any pullback into Friday's range could see this drop. We could be coming to 31,000 unless we close above here. The path of least resistance is definitely down. You could even argue we're still in wave 3. Yeah, a lot of red on the chart. Very unhappy markets, particularly in the US. UK, we are better, but only gone straight into that resistance. So this still could, it's certainly a much better recovery than the US, but still feeble. And we still run the risk. So you've got a 3-wave move down here, 4-wave move into there. So wave 5. We haven't done a proper test of 67.50 yet. So bear in mind we just hit so much resistance here. Unless we start to close above 7,200, that is lower. So at the moment, stocks are really not holding up. Let's look at a few other things. Let's look at Volatility Index, still elevated, still very, very high. This pullback in the Volatility Indexes is finding support with dollar. Let's look at Fed on Wednesday. So we've got this holding up pattern with the potential to break up. So if this continues to go, and the 2021 range is here. Right, so we've hit the extension. If this pulls up, we could go to this 102. I think the Fed, most people think the market will see a rate rise. But a lot of people in the market think we're not going to get as many rate rises. Inflation is stubbornly high, and of course we've got very strong oil at the moment. Talking which, let's look at the oil. So we've had this throw up to 128, 128. We're sitting on this support. So at the moment, the path of least resistance is still up on the oil. So break up, pull back. If we held the second half of the week at 107, seem to have settled at this 105 level. So if we hold 108 this week, we are going back up in the oil. No sign of that dropping at the moment. The gold has been it's been similar. Yeah, so that's pulled back to 2021 highs. Is that right? Yeah. So we're up there on January 2021. So this is good. This is still looking like it's got some legs. Lovely 3-way move up here, pull back into 2021 highs. As long as this 1950, 1960 is buyable. If we can break this high here, we're going back to 21. We're going up to 2144. A strong dollar could change that. If we close underneath this 2021 high, then the gold this could be over and done with. But no reason to sell. Let me get this Bollinger Band off. That was actually a sell signal there on the 9th. completely engulfed the 8th. So excuse me, nearly sneezed. So if we do close under 1960, this has had it. That could come tumbling back. So struggling, but the pullbacks are still getting bought. So let's have a look at silver. Likewise, had a good run into 26.75, pulled back. I think this is still buyable. I think any pullback to, let me do it on the pen. Any pullback to this area here. Any pullback into 25 is the obvious place to get long now. And I think we can see 28. Very, a nice, neat move here. So the pullbacks is the 25 area. So as long as we hit that and hold, we should start to wind up. Any subsequent close under 25, and then this has had it too. So the dollar, could the dollar tip this up? Yes, it could. But we've got strong dollar with, and the gold and the silver have, and the oil have pretty much stood up to that pressure. So that looks good. Let me just flick back to the Nikkei a second. So Nikkei is as weak, if not, it's just as weak as the Nasdaq. And the Chinese index is struggling as well. Right, stocks. Quick look at miners. Pan-African. So we hit 23 up there, was into this resistance area. We're pulling back. So any pullback to 20. 1985 is the main support. So it's been on a nice run. If you're in it and you want the long-term moves, then stay put. If you're not in it, then 1985 is a potential pullback. Sentiment had a good run, pulling back. For some reason, I've not got POG on there. POG is still really horrible, I think. Absolutely, look at that. That's on its knees, right on its knees. Hochschild pulling back. It's not as neat. Pan-African is definitely the preferred one here. In the US, we've got silver miner CDE. That's a good pullback in CDE. A lot of volume coming into this stock. So this CDE is good. And Heckler potentially going to pull back. So it's a nice move from 455 into 755. Pullbacks for that one are buyable. Stay with metals. Let's look at poly. Yuck, really horrible. There has been some volume in it, but that must be short covering because that is just not doing it. Horrible. The volume really picked up, obviously, the 24th on the outbreak of war. That plunged, and that has not come back since. Sylvania why have I not got Sylvania on here? SLV. So a lot of these metal guys have been on a nice run and pulling right back just ahead of Fed. There's triple witching on Friday as well. So all the main futures contracts and options contracts all switch over on Friday, 2 days after Fed. So it's a busy week. MGAM is looking good. So this beautiful big move up here on the 4th. We've stayed in that range. Volumes are okay. I mean, technically, we've held the 50% of this huge bar. So that for me is enough to warrant holding that. I would expect that we now need to obviously close above 323 for that to go. We did it over here. Look, we did a big move on the 6th of May, hesitated until the 27th of May, and then went on a run. So what we've seen over here, I think it's going to get is in the process of being repeated on the current markets now. Moving on, let's look at IT. Sticking with the so IQE is hanging in there. Volumes are okay, not brilliant. Money supermarkets, again, my short-termism, we've gone right the way back to 182. So we've done a complete about face on these stocks, which is why I'm just not investing. Been saying this for at least a couple of weeks now. Very sweet move off of this support, but we went right into resistance. Couldn't even get up to 220 and pulled right back on itself with 3 heavy days selling. So yeah, you might want to be more short-termism like me. Computer center, no. Let's look at basic materials. I know what I've done. Okay. Gem diamonds. There you go. Talked about this last week. This is a really good breakout pattern on volume. Big day on the 9th. Pullback, hesitation on the 10th, and wham. So be patient. We're up to 58. I would, if you want in on this, I would sit tight and see if this could pull back. But obviously that's a tremendous move. And the clue was there on the 9th. Anything to do with decent in-demand commodities is good. This ELM, what's the I forgot the name's gone. What's the name of this company? Elementis, isn't it? Elementis. This to me is a pullback at 105, 107. Very handsome volume. Still only putting back into all this selling. You never know, that might come all the way back around the one pound mark. TLPR. This is TPI cap, isn't it? I like it. It's hit a major overhang. So I would, if you're interested, I would try and hold out for 115, 120 if you're interested. Man Group, same story. Be patient and see if you can get 190 if you want to buy that. Glencore is just gone on a run again. These are the types of stocks. If I'm going to buy anything, it's going to be commodity related. It's going to be a volatile week with Fed and triple witching, and of course geopolitics. So be cautious. Oil stocks, yeah. Let's look at oil. Where's my oil list gone? Bear with me 1 second. Lost my oil list. Right, I'll put it in manually. That's really weird. Oh, anyway. Right, 88E. Pulling back. There's a gap now at 2.3. So 88E is a gap. Tullow has. Oh, what's happened to Tullow? Every time it hits this pink zone, it just bounces back. So a really sweet move from this 48, 47 to 64, and then results right. I'm liking it. Announced a loss, right? Okay. General. Wow, that's moving really well. It's moving into a congested area, but that is moving well. Volumes are picking up. I mean, that's potentially a buy at 150. I wouldn't get my stop that far away. Right. Goldstone. Sorry, but bear with me 1 second. GKP. Doesn't look. It's a very tough area. It's a very, very tough area for this stock. I think it's going to pull back deeper. I think it's going to come back further into the range. I would not be surprised to see that come back into the £2 mark. And then if it's got volume, it could pick up. I would be cautious and wait for a dip. Any other oil or energy stocks you want to look at? BP, yeah, I should be looking at BP, shouldn't I? I was thinking of that. Right, okay, so BP has come right back. So I would have thought we'd see at least 350. I think it's good. I would thought we'd see at least 350, maybe lower. There's a pickup on the downside volume. So be careful. Yeah, these guys are subject to geopolitical shenanigans. Looks lower. Definitely looks lower. Right, what else can I go to? Let's go to, I've done basic materials. Look at retail. Royal Mail Group. Royal Mail Group is trying to hold down here. I just wonder if that needs to retest £3 though. Let's look at next. Certainly making an effort to pull up. Seems to be, there's definitely buyers have crept in on those lows. Boo. Now Boo's got very decent volume down there. Such a fragile market. But that is very significant volume down there. If you're interested in taking a punt, try and get 80, 83, but get out if that closes under 61 or even breaks 60, 61. And Resource. It looks as if it's improving, but it's still struggling. That's not very impressive. Certainly seems to be some volume coming in. Right, yeah, property. Let's look at property. Let's look at Persimmon first. Wow. Volatility really showing through on that. That is in danger of dropping lower. Taylor Wimpy. Right. Well, that is significant volume down there. We've got a gap fill. No, okay. They've got a gap fill down here. So we tested the higher the gap. There is a decent chance that could come back to 115, 114, 115. A very decent chance. And that gap was created in November 2020, a long time ago. Well, my attitude to that is that surely that's going to want to gap fill. We're only 15p off a gap fill anyway. I think that is good. Let's have a look at Barrett's as well. That's pretty pathetic. That has gap filled. We had a gap in November 2020 for that one, and that has gap filled. Thanks, of course, yeah. Barclays. That 145 was good. Might see 145 again. Lloyd's, very similar story. That's been all the way down there at 38. That's had a good bounce, a really good bounce. So 40 is now the pullback area. If you see that, good. Legal & General, decent bounce on volume. 244 is a potential buy. Direct Line Insurance, that's picked up. HSBC sitting up. 450 is a buy on that one if you see it again. Stan looks like it wants to go back to 450, but that is definitely, that's perking up. And you want me to look at Aviva. Ooh, yes. Surprised to see these bouncing so hard after the storm. Thought the storm might suppress it a bit longer. Let me do the 2021 range. That's gone right to the 50%. I think it's good. I would be very patient for a pullback though. Right. I think Aviva is good, but I would definitely want to pull back. That's gone quite a reasonable distance up there. And I don't, so I would bid on, I would try and bid at sort of 350, 360. May not see it, but it's worth a bid down there, given the sort of environment we've got at the moment. What are your views? Tell me what your views on these. ex-dividend, right, okay, on the 16th of May, right. I think I definitely think that would want to come lower before that's ready to go. You look at Persimmon. Persimmon's a good divvy stock, and look how that's been getting hammered. So I will be very patient on these things and see what they give you. Yeah. Let's get an update on Card Factory. I think it was last Monday morning. It dipped really hard right into the open. Now, I still say this has got the potential to come to 30. I think this is a dead cat bounce. Yeah, and the Persimmon divvy is very good. I think this is a dead cat bounce, and I would expect to see that lower. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm short. And 30 is my target. Any bounce here to me is short covering. It's not for investing. Right, that's a quick whizzy tour. I've deliberately not gone into any new stocks apart from Gem Diamonds and things like Man Group and TPICAP. Like I said, keep an eye on Royal Mail as well. Any other stocks you want to look at? I'll look at some US stocks. EMPH, right, GPS. Okay. Let me the US stocks. Let's look at my Pfizer. Yay. Very happy with Pfizer. Bristol Myers has had a great run. Let's look at Roku. Wow, these are great stocks. They're just not surviving. They're still getting beaten up. T-Doc. Wow, that's ugly. So you got a big volume on the 28th, and still they sink. Palantir, ugly. Fubo, ugly. But if you go to Bristol Myers, Johnson & Johnson, fabulous stocks. You've got to be in the right sector. I'm in Pfizer, FYI, disclosure. Yeah, I still think Pfizer's a buy. If you see 48, 47, 48, I still think there's time to get in that. This is 50 is an obvious place for it to hesitate anyway. Yeah, it's not for me. It's not about COVID. It's just a great stock, just a really good stock. Yeah, COVID impacts it, but yeah, good stock. It's scary how these charts are just not doing it. And this thing here was 95.60, and here we are at 23. Absolutely shocking. So we gap up on the 5th of November, and they just hammer it. They've hammered it ever since it's gapped up. So there's the gap up. So they dropped it under the gap the next day, and all the highs, all the tests of that gap range were sold into until we ended up down here. So the gap up was just completely sold into. Right, let's look at your EMPH. Right, so decent bounce. huge bar on the 24th. Right, okay. This is an energy stock, isn't it? So it's hit a major problem. Let me take the fibs off. So we had a big bar here and a big bar here, which came off of that January support. We've already gap filled, so we gapped up on the 27th of October, filled the gap on the 16th of December. Really volatile, really volatile. Solar panels, but okay. I expect more volatility. That's all I can say. Once something's bouncing, it's just bouncing around, isn't it? Absolutely bouncing around. Let me try and get. So we got close to 2021 lows down here in January. It looks lower. I mean, for now, that's coming to an ambush zone. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that down at 132. Technically, on pure technicals alone, forget anything that's happening in the market, forget anything that's happening to this company. On pure technicals, I would expect to see that come into that breakup from the 24th from the war, which will put it at 131. If I'm wrong, this is going to turn around and hold 173 pretty quick, or certainly 149. It's like I keep saying, in this volatility, the swing trades are great. Investing is a nightmare. So this, we didn't even meet trend line highs up there. You could argue the trend line lows right down there at 76. So potentially this is a three-wave correction. One A, B, C wave correction. So if the correction's over and we stay under this 159, then expect lower numbers. But like I said, if I'm wrong, you're going to see more volume come in, and you're going to see that turn above 175 at 17.5, 17.5. But I think that's, given the volume and given the overhang there, I think that's lower. And the smart money would have come out on that 9th of Feb high. So all we've done is bounce right into that 9th of Feb high, and now we're coming off. There's just so much red on these charts. There's hardly any green on this. Uber is the only one with green, and even that's not a brilliant chart. I'd be very careful about bottom picking. Bottom reversals are tougher to trade at times, even in good markets, but in this volatility, it is tough. I want to go through some more UK stuff. Look at IAG, it's really struggling. Easyjet. Wow, that's very poor. Did see some volume coming in the back of the week. If we close under this 460, that's in trouble. That is in big trouble. Yeah, Chewy. That had a big drop, didn't it? The wrong one, isn't it? Hang on. It's bounced. Right, okay. Canary is nice. Obviously, they've got certain flights that are, yeah, flying to Eastern Europe is a problem. Right, okay. Well, it's certainly got a decent volume on this push. If you're bullish on this one, try and bid on £2, 205. But you may even see lower, given the volatility you've got. If you're bullish on that one, I personally will be patient. AJ Bell has had a bounce, okay. So that was as low as 273. Not impressed with the volume. Does appear to be trying to do something down here. Because even Facebook is just, I mean, look at Facebook. If Facebook can't do it, who can? I mean, that is pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. Wow, what a huge drop on Facebook, huge. And it is still not suffering. Amazon. Okay, decent push up on Amazon. We're back into the earnings range. Right. Right. Jet 2, okay. Well, yeah, that's an impressive move off of that 920. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I accept what you're saying. There is a lot of pent-up demand for holidays, definitely. So if you're interested in this one, I would definitely wait for that to peel back. What else did I want to look at? Seeing machines. Okay, this went back far deeper than I expected. That's got relative strength, given what I've just said about the IT sector overall. That's got good relative strength, and the volume is definitely picking up. If you're interested in that, I would try and come in at 7.1. Right. Thanks for your time, guys. Last request for any other stocks, and then I'm off. Yeah, this is all the way back down to 31. Looks lower, short-term lower. If we can pick up support, I can see that coming down to at least, I think that could come down to 27, which is December 2020 highs on Howison. I don't think there's anything else I want to look at. Let me just double check. Rolls-Royce. Attempting to pull up here. That does volumes getting better. Not a brilliant chart. We're getting better. PT. I really hope this comes lower. I do regret not taking 154, 155. So I do hope BT comes lower. QQ. Okay, so we are still holding up on QQ. Threatening to go higher. HSBA I've already looked at. I'll go quick look again. I think that could see 450 again, at which point, if that holds, might pick up dark. Okay. I'm not over impressed with this stock, because that was just a colossal drop from those heights. Yeah, we obviously had a really handsome bounce off of the £3 mark to 550 on volume. I think you might see 350 350 again. Right, I'm off. Thanks, guys. I've got to stop somewhere. I'm going to stop here because I'm starving. See you Wednesday.